We are live. Let me check. Now I think it's working with Hangouts. Let me check one more time. Let me check my channel.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Let me check one more time. Okay, perfect.
I don't see.
Jeez,
I don't
this
see.
technology. Okay, so we can start the live stream after half an hour of battling with YouTube. Okay, perfect. Let me explain you the reason for the Hangouts and what we are going to talk about. So I wanted to make this Hangout to give people an idea about this project, like what's the value of this project, what we are doing, but also because we have some plans for some documentaries and some new books and so forth. And I want to keep people up to date with whatever happened and what is going to be for the next year, because we have some very interesting plans. And I want to take like 5-10 minutes to explain a bit about TROM and how TROM got to be TROM and how I made TROM. And then I'm going to talk with Dima and I'm going to explain what Dima does for TROM and what I do, how many people are involved and stuff like that. Okay, so I was trying to write about how I made TROM for the past years, because it is like a crazy fucking adventure. And I think it started with I was in college and the situation was very shitty for me. So I said I have to do something to scream out about the problems that I see, the solutions that I'm currently knowing about. And it was a period of time that I came across the Venus Project. I'm sure many people know about the Zeitgeist movement, and it was a combination of my life events and the fact that my parents had lots of debt. We were close to lose our home because of this, and then it was a shitty situation. And I said I was writing on a blog in Romanian language because I'm from Romania, but I wasn't reaching many people. So I said I'm going to start to make a series of videos. I didn't think it was going to be a documentary. And I said I'm going to give up college and I'm going to focus on this project because I thought it's very important. And I worked for about a year and I didn't tell anyone. And I started to write the script on my blog in Romanian language to get feedback. And then I started, after a year of doing that, I started to make the videos. And it was very difficult because I had a very low spec computer and no one to support me basically. So I had to do this alone, and I could not record the voice, so I had to use a text to speech software. I had to borrow even like $50 to buy the tromsite.com domain and the hosting plan. But after I made the video, now that is a documentary, I said how I'm going to share it with people, because there are many parts of the documentary. So I thought of this idea to create a website, just one page, to have all of the videos. Just click on part and see that part, and it will autoplay the entire documentary. So I created the website and everything else. And I didn't expect much, but I put it online. And the next day I got like 5,000 or 6,000 viewers, and it was huge for that period of time. And the website crashed because I hosted all of the videos on the server. I couldn't upload on YouTube, as YouTube, because of copyright, I couldn't fight them. And from there on, it kind of like snowballed into what is now, because I got in contact with the Venus project and I started to work with them. And before that, I made a campaign for people to donate me money to buy a new computer and redo the documentary, because it needed proofreading and some video edits. And it wasn't my idea, but people said, why don't you make a fundraising campaign to buy you a new computer so that you can work another year to remake the TROM documentary with narrators, people who narrated the documentary. We had 3 narrators. We had other people who helped with the website, new website, and stuff like that. So for me, it was a very interesting experience because I saw how people can work together without being motivated by money. So many people volunteered for the project. And after that, we released another time, and again, lots of views, lots of people contacted me. I think I was getting like 20, 30, 50 emails a day without exaggeration, and I was like, I didn't know what happened because people from all around the world contacted me, and it was a bit crazy. So then I started to work the Venus project with like I helped them with some websites and stuff like that. Then I took their project called TVP Magazine. I said to Roxanne from the Venus project, I said, let me take this project and I'm going to manage it. And so I did for about 8 months. And Roxanne loved it. Everyone loved the magazine. It was a kind of unique magazine. But up until then, I worked completely for free, and it was extremely difficult. Like I had no money at all. So I said to Roxanne, let's create a campaign to ask money for a year of work. If not, I cannot continue because it was extremely difficult. So we did the campaign, and to my surprise, we got the money. I was able to work for another year, then we got money again, and for like 3 years or so, I was able to grow this project, this TVP magazine, and collaborate with the Venus project, and it was quite all right. But then after like 3, 4 years, we split apart for all kinds of reasons, and then I said I'm going to make TROM project again, like I'm going to put some life into it because up until that point, like 6 years later, after I created TROM documentary, it was nothing more than a documentary. It was a page with a documentary, and that's it. So after I split from the Venus project, I took all of the books, the magazine that I wrote, I put them on tromsite.com, and I made this project again. And now we have books, we have video books, we have all kinds of tools, and we are very active, and we are keeping this project alive, like even more engaging than when I worked with the Venus project, because now maybe I have more freedom, and over the years, I collaborated with many people, and now we are like 10 or so people who are very active with the project. Some people write books, like Dima started to write right now, translate our materials into German or Russian or Spanish and other languages. Sebastian makes videos. We uploaded some videos here on YouTube. We called those like TROM series. We tried to do that, and now it's from the standpoint of the materials that we create and the activity. It's rising up, but the donations are falling down very quickly. So it's a very difficult situation, and if anyone can support us, I'm going to put some links to our donation page. But before that, I will go more deeply into how do we work for TROM, and because I don't think many people understand the amount of work that goes into this project. And I want to talk to Dima about, for example, writing books and how he writes books and how much time does it take and the review process and everything, because it's a lot of work. And I'm unsure that people realize this, because some people may think that writing books is just like making a blog post, but it's a lot of research going into it, and it's a lot of reviewing and a lot of design and a lot of promotion for the books. So yeah, so Dima, he's helping a lot. He translated stuff into Russian. We have a Russian educated page, and he's now working. He created a book called Over Tourism, about tourism, that we are going to publish in like 10 days or so. And then he wrote another big book about entertainment. And it's a big book and very interesting. And we are reviewing right now. So I was curious to introduce you to tell me how do you came across such projects, and what motivates you basically.
Hey, Tio. Listen, first of all, I don't know if I'm live on the stream because when I look stream on YouTube, I can see only you, and I don't know if people now hear me or see me.
That would be interesting. Hold
I
on.
don't
Let
know if
Dima
anyone
search.
in the chat could write if they could hear me or see.
That would be really strange if they cannot see you. Like, why is YouTube doing this in such a complicated way? I think yes, you are now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cool. Oh, maybe it just switched when somebody speaks. Yeah. So going back to your question, how do they came up to TROM? So actually, that was TVP magazine, and back then I didn't knew that it was you who writing it. And I mean, and when I was reading TVP magazine, sometimes you mentioned this TROM, your documentary, and so on, but I never get this idea that you're the same guy, who writing for the TVP magazine, the same guy who created TROM. So I watched the documentary and I like it, and I really enjoyed TVP magazine. I think it was really cool, and I also donated some money to you. And then at some point it just disappeared, because there was like a newsletter, and I don't remember, it was like once a month or two times a month one issue were coming, and I always waiting and wanted to read it, and then it just disappeared, and somehow I didn't even, I don't know, notice it, or it's just it just disappeared, and that's it. There was no official information on Venus Project or anywhere. And then a few years passed, and somehow, again, somewhere on the internet, I found you. And then, oh yeah, there was such project TROM. And I went to your site and researched. I found these old articles from TVP magazine and new books. And yeah, and I just decided, well, to write you and ask how are you doing and everything. And then, yeah, maybe I can help you somehow. So that was the story.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, it was a strange thing with the Venus project back then, because we had some conflicts, and they decided not to send any notification about the magazine disappearing. But anyways, I don't want to go into that.
Yeah.
So I want to make some points about the work that we do on this project, because I think it's very difficult for people to maybe understand what we do and how active this project is. So, for example, when now Dima wrote a book for TROM, he's spending like months to research for that book, and then write and rewrite, and it's very difficult, especially because for me or for him, English is not the main language, so it's very difficult to write in another language. And I know that there are people who contacted me over the years and said, I'm going to write a book, and then 2 weeks later they sent an email and said, this is too hard, I'm not going to write a book because it's way too difficult. And it really is very difficult to write a book, and you are new to this for TROM, and I was curious, what do you think about the process that we are doing with reviewing and proofreading? I know maybe sometimes it's uncomfortable for you or for any author to have someone putting the microscope on everything that you write and say, okay, give me a source for this, give me a source for that. So I'm curious what.
Yeah, sometimes I hate you. I'm just joking. But yeah, the thing is, it takes enormous amount of time to write kind of a book in the way we have write for TROM. So let's say the second book I've wrote, it's about entertainment industry, and I spent about 6 months of writing it. It's about 56 pages long, I think. Just text without graphics or anything, just plain text. And yeah, during these 6 months, I practically work every day on it, more or less, not like a full time, but every day, few hours, some weekends, like whole days for 10 hours or more. And the way it is, you kind of research a lot. You can research for 2 days, and then at the end you write just one line, one sentence
Exactly.
with the link. And then Theo says, "No, I don't like this link. It's not not reliable source. Please find another one." So yeah, it's not like writing, your own perspective and your own stories. It's kind of easy in a way, to write your emotional, your point of view, your experience. But the way we write and Theo writes, it's everything should be scientifically proved. All the sources should have some, creditability, so you can trust them, and yeah, everything basically scientific based. So that takes a lot of time. Sometimes you watch full documentaries just to get, as I said, few lines, and then when you wrote it, so yeah, this 56 pages took me half year, practically working full time. Okay, and yeah, then to kind of look at it, read through, correct my mistakes. My writing English is not so perfect. So Theo doing great job onto editing, and then when he done editing, he passed back to me. I do improvements, I change stuff, and I send back to him. And basically, we're footballing this book to each other until it gets its final stage of approval. Yeah, everything done, and we send it then for the design. And design.
Actually, this is exactly what I was trying to create with TVP magazine when we started it, because I said, TROM, it's a huge documentary, and Venus Project has a lot of information, but you need the constant education, and it's not only about presenting the subjects, it's also about growing up minds that can explain a subject in a way that's scientific and it's sourcing properly. So my mission there with the Venus Project, with the TVP magazine, was more about people than it was about what we were writing about. And I was working with Ray, someone from the Venus Project who is very active. And that's what we tried to create. And we tried to create an environment where you present something. Let's say you realize that over-tourism is a problem. Okay, that's perfect. Let's present that. But let's have other people who put the microscope on your article and make you analyze every single point, like almost to the point of like trolling you, because let's be, I will rather like for a friend to come to my book and trash it and say this is not properly sourced, I think you're exaggerating here, then publish that book and feel good about it and have other people online telling me the same. So we make the books quite foolproof, and that's why it takes a lot of time. And with this, I want to talk about something that's very interesting and important today, and you wrote about this. You see, because it takes so long for us, like Dimitri said, it took him 6 months to write that book, and we are still working on it. It's a lot of work going on now. I added a ton of comments. He has to reply. We have to go back and forward. I too, I worked on the language book that we have. I worked for 1 year. I almost lost my mind with that book, because it's crazy the amount of research that you have to do. Like I have to crazy things that you don't even realize. Like I had to understand how people create languages, for example, which is like fucking nuts. And for the past book, I had to watch like 100 to 150 documentaries. Imagine that. I had to watch them, take notes, and so forth. And not only that we do that, but we archive links. So we are very careful with that. If you put a link to a news article, that link is going to disappear in 1 or 2 years or 5 years. So we archive all of the links. Imagine that. We archive all of the documentaries that people can watch directly. So every source that we put in the book, people can click it and can read it or watch the source that we put there. So because it takes so long, it's so difficult for us to stay in the game. I think Dima disappeared, so maybe he'll get back. Maybe his internet connection. But I was saying that it's very difficult for us to stay in the game and release lots of stuff. because in today's world, everyone is releasing like one video a day or 3-4 articles a day or shit like that, because they want your eyeballs and they want to make money. But because we are so slow, we don't get enough viewers, and we don't get enough supporters because of that, like financial supporters. And the situation is going to get worse and worse for TROM. And I know it sounds a bit depressing, but I am going to show you some plans that we have to improve on this. And like I was talking to, it's a website called healthnewsreview.org. It's made of medical experts and investigative journalists. I was talking to them because I'm keeping an eye on them, and they said they don't have the funds to continue to produce what they produce, and they are like a watchdog for Health News Review, because the Health News Review today, it's in a bad shape. Like every day it's a breakthrough. Every day it's like a miracle cancer cure. Of course, that's not true. Everyone wants clicks. Everyone is clickbaiting and so forth. So these people are trying to Dima is back. Are trying to make the health news, to make it really strong. So if you go on their website, you won't see much. You will see like a page article or something like that. And I contacted them and I asked them, why do you need so much money to make this website? Okay, because maybe there are other ways that I can help them. Maybe I wanted to help with the website or something. And they explained it to me. It's so difficult. We make a page for a health news review to analyze like a breakthrough in cancer research, and you have to ask 5 different experts, and you have to cross-check all of the information. So it takes a shitload of time. So because of that, they don't have many followers. They don't have lots of financial support. They are suffering from the same disease that we suffer at TROM, and this is extremely challenging. So that's what I want people to understand. And if they want to support us, that would be fantastic, because it's the only way that we can keep on producing such stuff, because it takes so long. Like I wanted to create videos out of our books because people watch watch videos more than they read books. But imagine that after you create a book, now you make it into a video. You have to change the script. You have to edit the video. You need a voiceover. You need someone to edit the video. So it's extremely difficult. And I think that's a really good point about this project, because many times I feel like we are going down the hill in terms of people who are interested in this project and the financial support. So it's getting extremely difficult. For example, I work full-time for the project, and I will explain more what I'm doing, but I make like 300 euros a month, which is, I mean, you can imagine, I don't think there are many places where you can live with 300 euros a month. So I will show you how you can donate if you want to, but I want to show you more about what we are doing. So Dima, I was talking about this thing with that you talked in your last book, Entertainment, how it's very difficult if we don't put shocking information there and constant information there. It's very difficult to get people to this project and to get financial support and stuff like that. I know you wrote about that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry too. Yeah, I just lost my internet connection, so I was
No problem.
Yeah. So, sorry, your question was about. Can you repeat your question, please?
I was talking about like us for TROM. It takes a long time to write a book, to do all of that, and we don't release like clickbait stuff. And because of this, in this world with YouTube and Facebook and so forth, we are going to suffer a lot because we don't get many eyeballs, and we release more rarely, and we cannot compete with others who are clickbaiting and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. It's like the whole, let's say, entertainment industry, right? Because we are kind of producing video and books. It's kind of part of entertainment industry in a way, or educational, but it doesn't matter. So today, because there is such huge amount of data, and it doesn't matter, what are you releasing. It's how valuable your information, how educational and useful for people. If you cannot bring attention, nobody will find you. You won't have any opportunities, and it's all this game is about attention, because if you can bring attention, you can bring money in. You can earn money from advertisement. Brands will start contacting you, and so on.
And
So
yeah, you are a musician, so you know quite a lot. You have a music band, and
yeah,
you go through this.
I've been into music like 16 years for now, and I was working in many different fields. So I've got kind of this understanding of how the industry works, and it's interesting to see that everything is connected. Everything is works in the same way. If you take sport, if you take books, if you take videos, audio, films, movies, everywhere, it's all about getting attention. Through attention you get money, and through money the professional industry only forms, because professional, you could be like a professional in any industry if there are money, and money could be in industry only if there are place for others, place for the stuff and shit to be sold out. So that's how it works. And going back to what you're saying, yeah, it's huge amount of work being done in TROM just for releasing one book, even if it's a short book. It's, yeah, as you said, there are many stages, and everything to proofread and to check and make video, audio out of it,
Yes, I think it's really interesting that we created this society where today the online world only works in terms of how many eyeballs you get. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Nothing else. It doesn't matter if you make something that is of great quality or something. It doesn't matter. If you get more eyeballs, you get more money. You can promote your stuff more, get more eyeballs. It's so fucking. It's so frustrating because for one, we don't have the money. Second, we don't have the shocking content and stuff like that, and I don't want to do that at all for this project. So it's a recipe for disaster, and this is not only TROM's problem. I've seen this, for example, with open source projects, because I'm following open source for many years now. So many projects are just completely vanished because they don't have the financial support. How to get the financial support if you don't produce something that is going to attract more and more people and be like in this kind of state of all that you want, it's eyeballs. It's impossible, and it's the fault of our society. And because of our society, tools like YouTube or Facebook or Instagram are created, and the only thing that matters for such companies are how many people are there and how much time they spend on their website. Nothing else matters. That's why it's a very shitty situation, and it's extremely difficult for us to get out of this. The only way that we do it is through donations, because if you start to sell something, it's a very slippery slope. What should I do now? Should I start to make small, like short videos with shocking content and stuff like that? And on top of that, so this is not enough, because it's such a shitty society and situation. When we make videos and stuff like that, we post it on YouTube, and YouTube is going to ban us. It's going to remove our video because it's inappropriate content, or we used some footage or some music from somewhere else. And it's because we are so small. I cannot start to fight with YouTube right now or with Facebook. For example, recently Mark donated 500 euros to advertise on Facebook our tromsite.com video trailer. And it went okay because we reached less people than Facebook initially said, but it was a lot of engagement on that video, like over 600 comments back and forward. So in that sense, it was great. But our video was banned after like 10 days by Facebook because of some weird reasons, because they said it's something controversial or is something weird like that. And now, we are trying to do this on YouTube, let's see, because Mark donated another 400 euros and we have a total of like 500 euros and we are going to advertise on YouTube. Let's see how this goes. But this is like the first time we have money to invest into this. And just to put it in perspective, if you didn't know, when that guy in the US, Donald Trump, he created the campaign for the presidency. He invested from 80 to 100 million dollars into Facebook advertising. I mean, just put this into context. How in the world, I
Yeah.
mean, yes, this is an extreme example, but how in the fucking world can I do something with 500 euros? You know, how can I compete with that? And 3 days ago, I went on Facebook, something that I do very rarely because I wanted to look something specific about live streaming because I don't use that. I hate Facebook. And I saw on my so-called newsfeed a video of some aliens, like conspiracy shit. It was sponsored by, like, they paid Facebook to give me that shit. I mean, they banned our video that was about real problems and was well researched and so forth. And that video had 5.7 million views, and our video got 26,000 views. So how can we compete with this? But I'm going to show you later on that we made tools for people to try and put something of value here, because the issue here is that people are always now with the internet are always busy, like on Facebook, on YouTube, and because most people are creating shitty content for clicks, else you cannot survive. So people's heads are well full of shit because that's what they see. And when people want to do quality stuff, it's not only about TROM at all. There are many other people who are doing quality stuff. They cannot penetrate this world. So this is extremely problematic. That's why we made a module on TROM site for curated news, curated videos, and I'm going to change my tone a bit to be more optimistic towards the end of this. But that's the idea that I want to put into your heads, that it is extremely difficult for us. I'm working on this for the past 10 years. Only like 3 years or so, I was able to sustain myself financially. The rest, I dependent on other people. Because there is no way. So that maybe you can understand this. If you can support us, that would be fantastic. Even Wikipedia, if you look at Wikipedia, the only way that they can keep Wikipedia as it is without advertising and without shit like that is because people donate to Wikipedia. Even I donate because I don't have money, but I donate 3 euros a year. So 3 euros a year, it's nothing. But
Yeah,
most people
exactly.
donate.
It's a good
And,
point
and yeah,
about.
and I want to ask you something, because I was thinking about this today. It's strange to me that many people may not donate, and it's not only about TROM, it's about Wikipedia and others, and I've seen the founder of Wikipedia talking about this. Most people don't donate, even if they have money, they don't donate. When I was working with TVP for TV Magazine, we had around 12,000 readers, engaged readers for each magazine, which is quite good for a magazine. And if they donated 3 euros or something a year or something like that, we could have we could have all of the financials that we needed. But this never happens. So I was curious, what do you think about this? Because to me, it sounds something like it's strange how to make people maybe donate even a little bit to projects like this, because most people don't. I feel like they think that others will donate, or that their contribution is not that important overall.
Okay, it's a tough question, man. But yeah, speaking about Wikipedia, I also donate to Wikipedia, and because they don't have this adverts, it's really reliable source, because nobody influence their content. Because as soon as you've got adverts, you will start to adjust your content, to get more views, to get more money, to get more adverts, to basically to sustain yourself. And that's also the trap where a lot of organizations are falling. Small organizations start with 1 or 2 person initiative, and then they grow bigger. They may have some sponsorship, they may have some adverts. They start to hire people because they start to pay people to do some job. So as soon as they started, they have to produce constant income and revenue. So they start adjust what they do. And I've seen so much this in in different kinds of organizations, like animal rights organization, you know, like kind of TROM, trade free world organizations and stuff like that. As soon as there comes money, in any ways, adverts or through selling books or videos or whatever, that eventually, you know, it will become corrupt. And that's why I stick to TROM so much and really respect you, Tio, and what you're doing, because you really you put it straight, like no compromise. TROM is 100% trade free, and it always will be like that. And like for me, I'm also in this kind of thinking. I'm a bit like idealist. Yeah, you've got this idea and you have to stick to it. And yeah, so the only way, yeah, to get some funding is from voluntary donations. And going back to your initial question about why people are not donating, I don't know, but it's always like that, you know. It's like a poor guy who is sitting on the street. I think you also think, okay, like thousands of people passed, you know, through me each day. If even, you know, what each person just throw me 1 cent, you know, I would have I would be rich.
Yeah, good analogy.
And you know, and I had the same thought, because for quite a long time I was playing on the street, like as a street musician. You know, I was playing on the street just to earn money, and I also got this thought quite often. You know, like I'm thinking, okay, maybe for a week, like 1 million of people have heard my music, but yeah, less than 1% of these persons, you know, actually donated something. But that's the way it is, and
yeah.
I don't know. It's always like it's the same. Like there are a lot of experiments when, you know, when somebody get hurt on the street and there's a lot of people, and there are people not going to help him, because, you know, you think, okay, there's somebody else here, so many people, somebody else will come and help.
Yeah, the bystander effect.
Yeah, bystander effect, exactly. Yeah, and if it's an empty street and somebody, you know, fell down and need help, like the first person go you know, pass by will stop and help him, because there's nobody else. So I think it's inside in our psychology and the way we're.
Interestingly, you know, the time when I raised the most money, or in relation with how many people could donate or how many people I could reach, was when I made a fundraising campaign and I was talking about the bystander effect, and I showed the video. Interestingly, more people donated just by seeing that video, because they said, maybe I'm the guy. Yeah, I'm the guy who just sits there and don't. But I just don't. I don't want for people to think that I'm begging for money now. I'm accusing people to not donate. But it's an interesting aspect, because I see this. You know, it's like an example. It's a program on Linux that creates backups, and it's the most used program, and it's extremely well done, and it's so useful. It saved my ass so many times. I reverted my computer back. And the guy who makes it, he's on Patreon, and he's asking for donations, and I think he gets like $20 a month, which is like nothing, but thousands are using his software. So to me, it's more than just TROM. It's about, it's very dangerous, because projects like this are going to be less and less, and I'm not sure what's the solution for this. It's very difficult. When you stay in this other side, first of all, it's extremely uncomfortable for me, always was to ask for money. It was very uncomfortable. I never did something for money. I don't understand this concept of doing something that you don't like to get some money to then buy something or something like that. I always did this for free. And it's strange for me to understand or to change. It's to change the situation. So, but I have some ideas that it's not going to compromise, are not going to compromise the project, but are going to create something new. And this is when we are going to talk about some future plans with documentary and something like that. But before that, I want to just list some stuff that we do for TROM, just so you know what the amount of work that we do, because it's not only about books, it's not only about research for books, it's not only about making books video or in video or audio format. We create tools for people. So for example, we have TROM News, curated news on our website, where We get news from hundreds of sources, and we curate them, and just so that you can only see news from reliable sources like Cancer Research UK if you want for that kind of thing, Electronic Frontier Foundation if you want to know about digital surveillance and stuff like that. So we created this tool that I use every single day. Every single day I use this tool to get my news from, and I don't know what I would do without it. So in my mind was something like, if people see the value of this, maybe they will replace their Facebook feed or other feed with staying on TROM site and getting the news. And we did the same with videos. So we have a curated news and curated videos. So you can always stay engaged, because this is very important, since people are always busy with their Facebook and stuff like that. It's insane to tell them stop it, don't do it anymore, because what they are going to do, they go to another website and it's the same. Twitter is the same, Instagram is the same. So that's why I created this tool, these two tools. So this is going to add up to my work and to our work, because there are other people who work on this and help me out. And another tool that I created and I announced people for that we have a live stream for that other project that I have is called videonit.com. And that website is full of documentaries and lectures. And it's important for two reasons. First is that it's a place where people can stay educated and watch quality documentaries. Everything is curated and everything is reviewed. There are hundreds or thousands of such materials, and they can watch it for free without ads and anything like that. And I'm going to show you, like, I will share my screen. I'm going to show you such tools. And also because when we source a documentary, it's so difficult. People may not understand this, but I write a book and I'm going to source a documentary. How am I going to source that documentary so that you, the reader, can check that documentary? It's very difficult. So we put them on VideoNet in a way that you can have free access to them and you can check that documentary if you really want to go into the sources. So you see, it's more work than just books and stuff like that. We create tools for the language book. It's a huge book, 600 pages long. I created a new language basically for that book, which may sound a bit crazy, but it's doable. And I created like a page where you can test this language. It's like the interesting thing. And I will show you some other tools because I want to make you aware of some of the stuff. So I want to see if I can share the screen. Hold on. I don't think I can share the screen.
You can. There's in the left corner. There's
yeah, but nothing happens. It's and I'm going to answer if there are any question in the chat. I'm going to answer a bit later on when we are going to talk about the new documentary. But the screen share doesn't work. I think it's you need maybe an extension or something.
Well, it worked for me. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting, because for me it doesn't work. What are you using? Chrome?
Chromium.
Chromium. Me too. Well, it doesn't work. It sucks, but I wanted to. Anyways, I wanted to show you to Jitsi. We had everything prepared, but Jitsi didn't work, so we had to stuck with the old Hangouts. But just to mention this, for the last book that I wrote, The Origin of Most Problems, that is now like 700, almost 800 pages long, which is huge, and I have to write the last pages. For that book, I made a search engine that basically searches through millions of items to show you how around 170 companies are owning the world. So to me, it was such a huge amount of work to take hundreds and thousands of book titles, movie titles, candy brands, beer, cars, everything that you can imagine, and to make a huge search engine. And you can find it. I can maybe I can put a link so you can test it. while I'm talking about. If you are interested, I'm going to put the link in the chat just in case. I'm going to put here a link, and I'm going to reply your comments if there are any comments. And
yeah, it's a cool thing, the search engine you made. You really kind of get shocked, especially if you're not aware of such situation. That's really like
yeah.
how just a few companies actually own the world, and
Yeah. I'm just to read you just a few things. Unfortunately, I can't show you, but just to read you some stuff from my research, for example. Just 1 second to see here. It's like 1 second. It's like, so imagine this. I made a huge. If you go on that page, I made a huge infographics to show you what these companies together are owning. And just to give you an idea, all of these companies make over 60% of all of the LCD TVs in the world, 60% of all of the USB flash drives, of consoles, video consoles, RAM memories, over 70% of all smartphones, or over 80% of all of the computers. Just imagine that, just a bunch of companies. That's it, you know. And if you go more and more deep into this, you realize stuff like, think about the software that you use. If you have a phone, you have two options. It's either Android or it's iOS. If you use a computer, it's either Microsoft or Apple. So it's like 10 companies make pretty much all of the cars in the world. It's a huge. So my point here was that you will find online such infographics like, look, 10 companies that are owning the food industry. Yeah, okay, but I'm never like happy with that. I want to know about every domain. I looked even in like the fish market. Who the fuck like is fishing all of the fish? Uh, every domain. So it's a huge amount of work on these books that you will not find anywhere, because it's a unique, a new kind of research, and I'm not copying stuff from other places. Like even when Dima made the entertainment book, again, he had to look to so many domains. So my point here is that TROM books are not only a lot of research and so forth, but they're original in that sense. I hate to write a book about something that 1,000 people wrote about. I don't see any point in that. So that's my point. That tool took me a shitload of time, because I had to I had to make a script. Imagine this, that goes on websites and searches through CSS. For everyone who knows a bit about websites, searches for the title of a book, then the year, and my computer was working all the time to search to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages, and my IP got banned because of this. I had to change it with a VPN, and it was a crazy thing like that. The website broke because there are so many categories, millions of stuff there that you can search. So yeah, I hope that people appreciate such things, because they are not only books, they are and these books, for who doesn't know, because it's very difficult to explain so much stuff, as I don't know how much people know about the project, but they are available online. You can read them, you can download them. So I'm going to, I mean, maybe I won't have too much air because I'm talking too much, but our books are not only all of what I've explained, but are also available for editing. I remember that now. So anyone can download the books and edit them and translate them in any language, can share them. You can find our books in plain text, you can find our books in PDF, you can find our books online. So it's a crazy amount. Even our videos, you want to make a voiceover for our videos, you can find them on our website. You can download them without a narrator, so you can make them in your language. So it's not I've seen many different projects, and I don't want to compare with other projects, but it's a lot of work that makes this project stable and progressing in terms of how it's managed and the stuff that we create. And I think that's the most important part. It's important that now we have Dima who writes books, and we can develop a relationship that You know, he can present maybe better some subject. I learned something new because he's making a book for TROM, and both of us evolved in this way. So yeah, I think that's for me that's the most important part about this project, that it goes a lot of work into making it, you know, and a lot of work behind the scenes.
The thing you mentioned, how everything organized is in TROM, it's like open source, you know, inspired, or open source, I don't know, projects. So in the same way, yeah, you can just download any video and just to translate it. The tool's already there. You don't need to ask anyone permission, you know, just go there and do stuff if you want to. The same like as with open source, just, you know, go to the code, and if you found some flaws, you can, you know, correct them and send for testing and approval. In the same way, yeah, like TROM, you want to help with translating book to your language, yeah, just go download it, you know, contact us, and yeah.
Yes, and this is something that I learned after I worked with the Venus project and with others. I learned that the best way to organize yourself is to not organize yourself. The more teams that you make and put like administrators and this and that and the other, you are going to complicate things when it comes to
Yeah,
volunteers.
sure.
Yeah, because people don't have that much time, and it's you need 3-4 people to maybe create the work that 20 people create, if those people are too like over organized. So that's the approach that I brought to this project. I said, look, I don't want to control it, you know. If you want to translate the books, let me make sure that the books are available for translation. If you want to share something, let me make sure that you have access to that, to share them. So stop with me being the boss here and say you are this the manager of our video team, you know, you are the manager. No, Sebastian, who it's helping with video production, he emailed me and he said he wants to make videos, and I said, so make videos out of the books, you know, just start. Dima emailed me and he said he wants to write a book, and I said, just okay, write the book. I mean, who am I to give you more instructions than that? And we will see how this evolves, you know. So that's how many people managed to translate TROM in many languages, the TROM documentary, and videos and books. And Aaron, for example, he's translating into German. He translated almost every book into German, which is crazy. But I rarely talk to Aaron about translating books. He just translates books and he says, Theo, I have another one translated. So this is important to grow a project like this, because I don't even have control over this. Because if people create, the only control that I have is that I can put them on TROM site or not. But if you don't want them on TROM site, take our materials to translate in your own language, like in open source. Put them on your own website. You know, I'm not going to be there to stop you for that. Several people asked me, is TROM content like what license is under? It's like common Creative Commons or something like that. They have all kinds of licenses, like you can use it without redistribution and stuff like that. And I said, I don't have any license. It's just take it, you know, whatever. It's free. It's trade free. I don't give a fuck about so many licenses, because they are pointless for us, you know. So I think that's interesting.
So cool. I really love this attitude. It's like, it's amazing. I never seen any other, you know, organization who do this, and I totally agree on you with this license and everything. Also, like, just a similar, you know, like similar story. As a musician, I don't care about, you know, my music. I record an album and I just upload it, you know, on YouTube. If everyone want to download it, like, hack it or to put on torrents, just do it. I don't care, because I, you know, listen to other music, you know, all the time. You open the video, you watch some others, you know, people creation for free. You don't pay to them directly. Okay, you pay for internet or what's not, but you're not paying directly to the creators. Like in internet, everything's supposed to be free and available, and just bother with this license, even if it's, you know, open common source, whatever license, it just doesn't make sense. Anyone can, you know, copy so easily and just to use it. So why not give this option to people to do it more freely, if they found, you know, your content valuable and want to do something with it.
And if you think about, this should be normal. It's abnormal in our society that I create something. If I create a book and then I put a price on it, what's the point? I created the book because I want a car. That's in our society. I should create the book because I want to create the book. If I put a price on it, I put a wall between me and you. So it's so backwards if you think about it. We don't make stuff because we want to make the stuff. We make stuff because we want stuff, and that's that made our society so insane. Because of course you will create a much better book if you create the book for the book, not the book for buying a car because you need a car or you want a car. And the problem is that people are forced to behave like that. I'm doing it like that, and you appreciate it so much, and I'm so happy, and I will continue to do it like that. But I can tell you it's extremely difficult for me because I make 300 euros a month. I am I could take any job and I would make like five times more if I would do another job. But it's so rewarding for me to know that for the past 10 years I did the stuff that I liked doing, and I felt like it's important to me. That's that's why I don't understand. For example, I grew up to not understand holidays, to not understand presents, to not understand stuff like that, because I to not understand that money, that it's your money, or because I detached myself from that. I don't even know what day it is. I just do the stuff that I love doing, and I don't do them for buying a new smartphone or something like that. And I saw this with people who are normal and work normal jobs, that when they get the salary, maybe that's one reason why they don't donate to projects that are like this. When they get their salaries, they feel like it's theirs. Why should I give it to you? You should work for that. I worked for this amount of money. You should work for. If I won't give you, my money to you. And it's a different kind of relationship with the money. Like for me, it matters, of course, when people donate, because else, what the fuck am I going to do? But I don't put a price on money in that sense. I can donate to others. I see it as easy as because I know others donate to me. So yeah, that's the point, that we changed the way that we see value in our world. We do stuff to get stuff back. So this project, like several others, it's a monster, and it doesn't fit well in this world at all.
Yeah, and it's always very tempting for you if you just created something and now you think, okay, I'm gonna, release it for free. Let's say I wrote a book and then I think, okay, I'll give it for free, and then you've got this small thought maybe in your mind, maybe I should put price and get some money out of it, and then you think, yeah, exactly what you're doing. You're kind of putting the wall. So for me, as I found it, I may ask, like money for my music because I consider it's more like still kind of entertainment, not so important. But if I do something educational and valuable, like the books for TROM on serious topic, I would never put a price because I think it's too valuable information to put, a barrier for some people to understand. Only because you cannot afford it, you are kind of limited to get some knowledges.
What is a bit frustrating is that people may not see the value in this in general, because I've seen so many books like we discovered aliens and another civilization or shit like that, but it costs you $24.99.
Yeah.
We can save the world. Read our book. It's just $9.99. I mean, are people that fucking stupid to, like, if you really had the knowledge there that you saved the world with that, or you discovered aliens, you won't put a fucking $24.99 price on it. But it works. People buy these books, which is to me is like, what? What? No, I don't ask any money for my books, and I barely make people read them, or other people who do like free stuff, which is really frustrating. And I saw this even with extremely rich people, which I think says a lot about our society. Is like Bill Gates. Maybe he's releasing a book about his life, and it's $15.99. on Amazon. Like, what the fuck? You are the richest guy in the world, and you. But I think they see it as normal. You know, I cannot tell you how many these debates I had with people around me because they don't understand why in the fucking world I don't ask for money for my stuff. Like they say, oh, you're fucking stupid. You know, you why? Why do you spend fucking 6 months writing a year a book and you put it for free? Are you fucking crazy? In a sense, I understand them because in this world, it's a mad world. It's a dog's world. You are in this world and play it by the rules or you are fucked. You know. So in
Yeah,
a sense, I understand.
yeah, exactly. And another point I want to mention, which you quite often bring up, it's even free stuff. It's not actually free. You know, we have like YouTube, where we watch for free, or Facebook or Instagram, and think, okay, it's for free, it's nothing, but it's actually not. And yeah, you can of course elaborate better than me on this topic, but you know, the YouTube and Facebook, they just mine your data constantly all the time and sell and resell it, and to get you to feed you better adverts, and basically you are their profit, and that's why it's free. You know, it's monetary free, but it's not trade free for you. You trade your identity, and in this sense, yeah, the TROM stands totally against it, and in the same way as Wikipedia, as I said, you know, like Wikipedia is one of the best examples out there, which like millions of people using it, if not billions already. So and it's totally trade free, and it's really, you know, the source you can trust, and it's also collaborative work of millions of people, you know, who write and check articles, and yeah, that's amazing.
I think that's a great segue because I wanted to talk about this trade thing. But before
Yeah.
that, I want to mention that I know there are many people who say Wikipedia is also biased because if you look at political articles and so forth, yeah, because in this world, you know, it's difficult to not be a bit biased when some people may pay others to influence Wikipedia articles. But overall, it's an amazing resource. You know, and people should really appreciate that. I know many people are against the Wikipedia. Oh, Wikipedia, they put all kinds of political what shit. But the segue here is very important because this is what I want to talk more about. When I started TROM, the idea was this. I've seen that everywhere around the world, the problem is money. You know, my parents got into fights because of money. I didn't have maybe food because of money. People couldn't get a treatment for their disease because of money. Money. You know, and then I realized that okay, this is the source of most problems. You know, and it was still controversial 10 years ago. I felt, you know, online and offline, and then I came across TVP. I saw the documentary "The Future by Design," and it was exactly about this, about money. And I said, "Wow, you know, that's it." You know, there are some other people who think the same because you see, money is like for us, it's like the water is for fish that is in the water. You know, it's everywhere, but people don't think that is something strange or something that we invented. So that was one of my goal with the documentary, to say the monetary system is the problem and let's make this clear. And these are the solutions. And I presented all kinds of solutions. The interesting part is that over the years, after doing more and more research, I realized something that is way more interesting. Money is not the problem. Money is just one of the problems. So what is the problem if not money? You know, and the simple answer is trade. And some people have problems understanding this with trade, but this is such an important concept that I shifted the project's direction towards this, towards saying trade is the source of most problems, and we have some solutions for these problems. And why is this important for those who maybe didn't read our last books? Because in China, for example, they say, yeah, no, money is shit, you know, who uses money? Let's use social credits. Let's put a credit on you. Let's see what you talk online, with whom, what you buy, and you get a credit score. And with this credit score, you can trade. You can get maybe a better car, you can make a loan, you can do all kinds of stuff like that. You can travel more freely. So this is one kind of trade that's happening without money, see? And if you look online, everything is like that. Why do you think YouTube is free? Because it's only money free, like Dima said. But you trade your attention, you trade your data. Facebook, the same, you trade your attention, you trade your data. So it's the same problem, even if you take money away and you replace it with Bitcoin or your cryptocurrencies or with advertising. Now, what you're going to see with, for example, self-driving cars is that Google will come along and say, we have free rides for you with our self-driving cars. But what they don't mention is that when you jump into that self-driving car, you will be bombarded with advertising, and they will take your data and they will make a profit off of you. So that's why I shifted the direction of the TROM project from money, simply money, to trade. And this is a big discussion among these circles that are like TROM, for the Venus Project, the Zeitgeist movement, and that's what I'm going to try to do with the next documentary. I'm going to explain more about it, but I'm curious to see, Dima, did you think the same, and that money is the problem, and now you realize that it's more than money, it's trade, it's more the problem than money is simply?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the same for me. Of course, yeah. I've been for many years into Zeitgeist movement and TVP and others, and of course, yeah, I was thinking, yeah, money is the source of all problems, and we just have to somehow eliminate them and just bias them and leave them in the past and so on. But then, yeah, I came up with this idea of trade from your books, and then I chat with you quite a lot of time on this topic, and then I start to realize, yeah, okay, because you put like really strict, okay, it's not money, even if we chat with you, and I said, okay, this monetary system and blah blah blah, and then you always put the strict, no, it's trade, and I think, yeah, okay, trade, I kind of agree with you, yeah, trade also, but I didn't kind of realize that actually the trade is really the source of all problems, and money is like going, like a secondary. Yeah, after a while, yeah, I've read a book, and then I start to analyze in my thoughts and thinking about it, and then I say, yeah, man, really. But it takes a while to realize that, and then yeah, like time passed, and I also in my like conversation with other people always like automatically mention trade is that's we trade our attention, exactly, like our attention is number one currency now today. So the same as the YouTube views is the currency for any creative people, for musicians, video makers, dancers, whatever. It's like the currency, they trade it. The more views you have under your video, the more valuable are, the more opportunities you have, and it doesn't matter what stuff are you doing. So
because I realized this when I was working with the Venus Project, for example, for TV magazine, because many people were contacting me at the magazine, and they came up with so many solutions, and they said, oh, look, we have to invent our own currency. Oh, look, we made money-free parties or whatever, and it's always was about money. And I saw that people didn't realize that if they replace money with cryptocurrencies, it's the same shit. Or if they replace money with direct trades, like say, okay, we make this village, but to participate you have to work from 3 to 5, it's still a trade, and this is the goal of this huge book that I'm currently working on, The Origin of Most Problems, and this is the idea behind the documentary. So I want to talk about a bit about the documentary, because so I was thinking the last book that I'm making, that I think is the core book for this project, and it's all about why trade is the source of most problems and not money, and what solutions there might be. This book is going to be like 1,000 pages long, which is fucking crazy. I mean, if I send it to someone, yeah, sure, I'm going to read it. 1,000 pages. They don't read the page, So I was thinking, okay, we have so much information now, so much information. What if we take this book and we compress it down to a documentary that's 1 hour long, or 1.5 hours, that is specifically designed to get people's attention, not clickbait shit or anything like that. Everything sourced, everything based on the book. So I was thinking how to do this maybe in a way that is going to attract more people. And I have this idea right now. I don't have a lot about this documentary, then we are going to make it. But the idea was this. I want to film around 100 people from all around the world. And I want to ask help with that. I don't have to go there specifically. I have to talk to someone to record them. I need normal people, like like regular people, not some activist or so forth. And I want 100 people or something like that. And I want to ask them from all around the world, from China to Russia, from US to. I want to ask some simple questions because we don't have to make this complicated. If we make this complicated, that's it. We are going to shoot ourselves in the foot. I have 3 questions for them. That's what I'm trying to do. First is like, what are the problems of the world? Because after all, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to deal with some problems, right? So let's start from there. What are the problems? I want to hear from people. What are the problems? Corruption, waste, dictatorship, whatever. I want to know what are the problems, okay? And second question I want to ask them is, what do you think creates these problems? What or who? Because I want to know. If you think about it, I think we all agree on this. We all agree that climate change is a problem, waste is a problem, crime is a problem, lack of resources, the deforestation, livestock, problems. Imagine a wall of problems. We agree with that. But what is creating these problems? A bad smell in the air, it's an alien species coming from outside. It's radiation. What creates? No, it's humans, right? Humans create these problems, maybe except stuff like cancer, but even that, if they smoke too much. But most problems are created by humans, okay? So this is the step that I want to get with these people. I want to ask them, what do you think creates these problems? I'm curious to see, because can they say anything else other than human beings? I don't think they can, for most problems. So I think from here to there, from these 2 questions, like what are the problems, who creates these problems, we agree. I think we agree. I think from here on, we don't agree anymore, because I say, okay, I agree, people create the problems, okay? But what is the solution now? Let's kill people, right? Let's take all of the people who create the problems, let's put them in a rocket, big rocket, and eject them to the space and let them freeze there for a couple of thousand years. What is the problem, And I think we agree that it's the human behavior. So if we agree that human behavior creates the problems, the next question that we have to ask is, what creates human behavior? And I think this is where the everyone in the world it's completely confused, because they don't think too much about this. They say, oh, maybe it's genes, maybe people are so egocentric, maybe they are so greedy, maybe they are. I've heard this so many times, So we have to burst this myth. It's not genes that make people greedy. It's not fucking brain shape. It's the environment that we are in. Okay, so that's the train of thought of this documentary. That's the script that I'm going to try and get several people from all around the world and get them through this line of thinking, and then to arrive at what in our environment pushes people to create problems. You see, 3 things. And this is where the trade things comes along. Because if you look at our entire society, the only thing that we do is trade. That's what we do. That's why people wake up in the morning and go to work, to give their skills, to get money or to get other benefits, to get something in return. You give, you get. You see? So that's where the documentary is going to lead them. I will ask them, what are the problems? What creates the problems? And in between, we explain things in more detail. And lastly, because I don't expect for them to say that our trade society is the problem, it's what drives people to create problems. In the end, I want to finish the documentary in a more positive way, and I want to ask them, what would they do if they had access to everything? Because this is another myth. People think that if we have access, whatever the fuck we want or we need, then people will be lazy and nothing will happen. So you see, that's the way that I will like to make this documentary, and to make it based on people, to see people from all around the world, and to have it not longer than 1 hour and a half, So that's that's my idea, and to release it on a new website, maybe to give rise to a kind of new thing that I'm going to talk about more a bit later on. But I want to release it in different languages. So we release it in 5-7 languages. We are going to have narrators from different languages. So that's my idea. That's what I would like to do. I think. Yeah, and we also want to. Dima also want to make another documentary that's also very interesting, and it's about the activism and the activists that are working on such projects. And I'm curious really to see where are you going with the documentary, and if you can say a few words, I'm curious a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So the documentary I want to work on is like codename Activist documentary, but the main idea I just want to interview. I don't know, maybe about 20 or 15 all kinds of activists, like social activists, who works toward kind of trade-free world society, yeah, post-trade society in different ways. So people like from Zeitgeist movement, from TROM, from TVP, and other individuals who also do some interesting work. And I just want to show them, not maybe so much to explain what they do and what their projects do, but to show this personality. I really want to find out what drives people, to kind of spend their time on doing something voluntarily without monetary gain, which is total insanity in our world. And I know a lot of such people that they really struggle on a personal level, because as soon as you got this kind of mindset and you realize the problem of the world, you most of them kind of become lonely. You don't have a lot of people around you who supports your views, and you start speaking about it, or as you, Theo, said before, like your friends telling you, oh, you're crazy, you're doing stuff for free all the full time. So I just want to meet them. I really interesting to speak with them and personally, and ask just kind of a few questions, like why you're working on a such project. Also, I want to ask like such controversial question, like how do you get money and how do you feel about that? Because in order to survive, you have to trade yourself in any form. So yeah, what they do for a living, and how do they feel about that, and what their relationship with their friends, relative, or the society or environment they're in. And also, like a second line or second topic is about is individual like individual actions can bring any change and can do something. So yeah, I want to show them kind of personality behind the work they're doing, and how hard it is for them to to exist and continue going. So it's going to be like a personal journey. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I was thinking about such a documentary, not to make one, but I was thinking that someone has to make one, to showcase this, because many people do not know what's going on behind such projects. Who are the people? In my view, this is a form of bravery, because you say, I'm not going to participate in this game, this crazy game. I'm going to sacrifice my life and my comfort just to do something that's important, that I feel is important. So it's in our world, bravery, it's like someone with a sword or a machine gun. But I think this is more brave, than. I'm not saying I am brave. I'm saying that people who put aside their comfort maybe and their security, and try to do such things, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. Not only financially, like you said, not only financially, even socially, because how many people around you are going to be like you? I can tell you from my experience that pretty much no one. I think I have 2 friends or something like that. Because and just to mention this, we, for the first time, interestingly, we are going to meet all of us from TROM we're going to meet next year in the summer. We are going to meet, will be like 10 people. So we are going to brainstorm about such ideas and try to work together and try to help each other, even like socially and financially. Maybe we can do something and help each other, because it will be much easier for us. You know, when you are spread around the world, it's kind of difficult to keep yourself motivated and work on projects in a collaborative way. You know, if you are more together in the same space, it will be fantastic to have like a TROM office or something like that, to know that that's what we do. We create videos, we create stuff like that. And in the beginning, I said it's extremely difficult, if not impossible, for what we do to penetrate this society. You know, and it was a very pessimistic tone. I'm still going to keep the pessimistic maybe thought, but my tone is more optimistic, because uh, although I recognize that how can I penetrate this society with the stuff that we do at TROM, with videos and documentaries, shit like that, what else can we do? You know, I'm always asking myself this question. Well, maybe TROM reaches less and less people. Maybe TVP the same. Maybe others are the same, are falling down. But what is the alternative, you know? So I will keep doing what I'm doing. And I didn't even share this. I mean, the purpose of this video was more like trying to ask for financial support, but I forgot about like sending you the link or something. But hopefully you can go on tromsite.com, and we have a button there, donate, in the menu. And if you can donate, that would be fantastic. And yeah.
Prescott had a good quote on this, you know, if you don't do nothing, that I can assure you nothing gonna change. So
yeah.
if you can do something, just do it.
Yeah, and if you can help with like translating stuff or even small stuff like that, it doesn't have to be about donation specifically. But if you can do that, I think it's you may not see the direct effect, but it's a huge effect when people are getting involved like that. When somebody translates a book into German, but maybe only 50 people are going to read it, well, this is 50 people more than without it, you know. So to me, that's important. Yeah, and just like a last thing to mention, I was just like a side note here. For the next book, I'm going to create an operating system based on Linux. I'm not going to create it, but it's based on Linux, just to show you that we create tools for such books, so they are not simple books. It's already done. Unfortunately, I can't show you because I can't share my screen, but I will make a walkthrough to show you how like awesome it is. It's free tools for people. That's what we are trying to create. You will install it, and that's it. You have video editors and video converters and every tool that most people may want, and everything is set up so that when you visit any website through Firefox, you won't get ads, you won't get tracked online. So I set up everything. I worked pretty much like for the past 2 weeks or so. I worked on it, so I'm going to share it with you, and just to show you that I'm continuing my work, and Dima it's doing lots of work recently, and others are doing the same, and we have plans for 2019, for the next year, lots of plans. But the reality is that if we don't get enough financial support in the next months, then I will have to do like a one-time donation campaign, and if it's not going to work, then I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I will be forced to, for the first time, like take a part-time job and try to put my efforts into TROM. You know, it's a very, very problematic situation for me, you know. And yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to do. What else? Well, I could talk like for 10 hours straight, but because there are so many things to say. But I feel like I hope that I gave you some ideas about what we are doing, and maybe I was thinking to make a live podcast for TROM, like in every like for every week, every Friday or something like that, to discuss particular subjects, social media or even TVP if you want, or whatever, you know, about organizations like this, or about money, about trade, about stuff like that. We will see. But right now, I'm working on designing Dima's book over tourism. We are going to release it this month. Then I'm going to finish up the Origin of Most Problems book, huge book. Then I will focus on the documentary. And I think that documentary is going to be extremely important, but I have to figure out how to make it work from a financial perspective. So yeah, maybe we will going to make a new live video soon. And just to, if I'm curious, let me see the chat if there is any question or if anyone watched this video. Where are you from? Well, I'm from Romania and I live in Spain, but and Dima?
Yeah, I'm from Latvia, but I live in Germany.
Yeah, and most of the people who are close to TROM and work to help TROM are from Europe. Okay, let me see if there is anything else. Yeah, this is going to be recorded and you can watch it later on. I don't really like to make these live videos, to be honest with you. I prefer to write books and do my work in the background and release stuff, but there are so many things that I wanted to talk about, and I prepared like a few things to show you, but it didn't work with Google because Google is Google and YouTube is Google's daughter. And yeah, we could, a few people said, why don't you stream on other places? People come up with such solutions. They say, don't use YouTube, use PeerTube, use DTube, use other sources. Don't use Facebook, use other free and open source sources or alternatives. The problem is that you won't reach anyone with such tools. Even with YouTube, it's very difficult. We uploaded the videos that we made from books, like from 2016, we started to upload on YouTube for those who are subscribed and they saw the videos. And it was a stupid battle with YouTube and copyright. Even if we paid for footage, for most of the footage, I had to go and fight with YouTube over copyright. And it was such a pain in the ass. And then I decided not to upload on YouTube. I decided to give up on YouTube. And YouTube then decided to delete all of my account. Guess what? They deleted my Google Drive. I had 1 terabyte of data. They deleted everything. I contacted them and it took 3 months to re-enable my account. I had no access to YouTube. So to me, for us, it's extremely difficult. It will be so useful to us and to you if we could make videos, because people watch videos, and upload on YouTube regularly. Because we can do that with quality videos, maybe once a month, once every 2-3 weeks. But it's a battle with YouTube. So we cannot do that, unfortunately. Maybe we will try. We'll see. But streaming on YouTube, I don't really like that because they didn't work with my tools and they fucked up all of my plans. I had some plans here to show you some stuff, but I cannot share the screen. When will the Linux be released? Linux operating system. Well, I have it done, and it's such a fucking pain in the ass because I cannot share with you to show you. But everything is done basically for it, and I will probably release a beta testing in about a week or so. I have lots of stuff to do, so it's easy to share, but it's harder to get back feedback. If you discover a bug or something like that. But it's a great operating system. It has so many tools, free tools, because that's what I'm trying to create. If with TROM project we create curated news, you can get your news from reliable sources. We create curated videos. You get education, curated documentaries. You get documentaries and lectures. You get new books, so new content, and you get a new operating system, free operating system. So you see, we create a lot of stuff. You know, I'm sure many people are not even aware of this because I don't even have the time to advertise them. I don't even know how to do that properly. But we have a lot of tools. Maybe I'll
Man,
make.
you have to advertise everything if you want to get something. You know the rules of the game.
Exactly. Let me see if there are any questions, and then. What's your opinion about the current mass migration and open border policy? Stuff like that. Well, I don't know what to say. It's I've seen several documentaries from PBS that are really shocking. They are called Exodus, something like that. You can find them on VideoNet. 4 hours long, like 4 or 6 hours long. They are tracking down migrants from all around the world to see where they go, what they are doing, and it's just such a. I was watching that documentary. I was thinking, is this happening in 2018 or something like that? Is this really happening? Some poor guys were sitting in the back of a truck. They went there illegally, and sitting in the back of a truck with full of whatever it was for 3 days, stuck there. They slept there. They had to shit there basically, and then their only plan was wherever that truck goes, it goes somewhere else where it's better than where we are now. So it's such a crazy concept, but it's a problem when you open borders and you accept new people in, because in this world we separated ourselves in countries and all kinds of weird cultural ideas, and this nationalism seems to be on the rise nowadays. If we don't recognize that we are a planetary species and take care of everyone, then only a few countries will do that, and some poor countries are going to basically push people to go into other countries that are more open, and those countries will not be able to deal with the situation, and they will close the borders. So this is going to always happen, and this is going to give rise to nationalism, because people think migrants come to our country, so we don't need them. We need to take care of ourselves. And in a sense, I understand that. And I am too, in a way, a migrant. I live in Spain, and even here, sometimes when I go to the dentist or something like that, and people here they hear that I don't speak Spanish, for example, or Catalan, because they have many dialects. They are a bit upset. I see them, they're like, so you live in Spain, but you don't know Spanish, so why don't you know Spanish? They ask me, because I don't need to know Spanish. And it can drive this attitude of us versus them, but it's all about the resources. So if you want to solve such problems, instead of opening up the borders, go and improve the situation there, or don't fuck it up. Don't go to the with the military there and fuck those people up so that they come to your country, because people are stupid. They think that if they go to some countries and they destabilize them, like they create wars, it doesn't have any effect on them. It will. Even climate change will have an effect. People will migrate to other countries, And yeah, I know a scene that it looks like it's from a movie. I don't know if you know this. Spain, it's on the border with Morocco, and people in Morocco, they want to come to Spain, but they have Spain has these big walls, the kind of walls that maybe the guy in the US wants to build. And this is what they do. You can find videos with such things online. They gather hundreds and hundreds of migrants on a mountain. They live there. They use drugs to have the guts to do what they're going to do, and then they storm with thousands and thousands of migrants, storm and jump these tall fences. And because there are so many, it's so crazy when you watch those videos with thousands of people. It's like you're watching some war from the 2,000 years ago. They jump fences, and because there are so many, the police cannot catch them all, you know. And they do that. They do that like every season is like that, which is crazy. I mean, you cannot stop such things. That was the point. No big walls, no laws are going to stop this. So it's crazy. Did you see Dima such footage
I've
with
seen
such people?
that initial documentary you've said when this filming crew was following different kinds of immigrants. It's really interesting and gives you a lot of new perspective. But then, yeah, exactly as you said, why there are migrants from third world countries, because first world countries are actually exploit them, tear down the resources, open up wars there, destabilize there, and so on. So yeah, there's like causes and there's sequences. And I mean, of course, like the whole idea of dividing land into the countries, it's quite stupid. We should more collaborate together, not to be separated. And I know this problem as well, like of immigration. When you live in a country and you don't really speak the language, the people, yeah, well, look at you and it's like, yeah, why do you're not learning? Or then they'll have this kind of bad attitude towards you. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and I fully understand, because even people who are against such things and they are against immigrants, because they lose stuff. You know, people come from Romania, they go to UK and they work for like half the
them.
salaries, and people in UK are like pissed off because yeah. But anyways, these are all problems that are going from the same source of trade, that is quite difficult to explain, especially to new people. How come trade creates migration? Of course trade creates migration, else people will not migrate if they had access to stuff. That's
But then
the idea.
again, it's a good point about even climate change, because climate change, it's undoubtedly, caused by the humans for the last, 100 years, from industrial revolution and so on. And yeah, as you said, even the climate change will influence those countries, third world countries, the most, because they've got this climate, and they will migrate. And what causes this? It's a trade. We have electric cars already 100 years ago. The first electric cars were produced like in 907 or so more than 100 years ago. And imagine if we would 100 years ago would start using them. It's just crazy.
To me, it's so crazy. Imagine if you bring someone from the 1800s and tell him or her our today's capabilities, technological capabilities or scientific capabilities, machines working to produce stuff, and the abundance that we have. I live in a city where it's a tourism-based city. 80 to 90% of all apartments here are empty for like 8 months a year. This is fucking crazy. It's insane. So we produce so much stuff, but we don't know how to distribute it, because we play this trade game. I cannot go now into the port here. They have a port with hundreds and thousands of boats. They stay there all year round. I cannot go there and use a boat. I can't. There are boats, but I'm not allowed to, because I have to trade something. Give us money. It's crazy, and to me it's very sad and depressing that we didn't make a society today in which at least the needs of people are trade free. If you are sick, let's fix this poor human being. Don't ask him $100,000 for a cancer treatment, because it's insane. And yeah, to me it's sometimes if an alien species will come to Earth and they will say, you want to come with us, I will say sure, because I am quite like sick of this society. But that doesn't mean we have to give up and not do anything about this. At least scream. That's why for example, I made this Linux distribution to give you, because computers are like the only tools that we have, the ones that are poor, who can use them for creating videos or creating documentaries or books.
Yeah.
So I want to create an environment for people so that they don't have to pay, they don't have to trade. Use this free operating system. I'll teach you how to do it and stuff like that. Small things here and there I know I'm not going to change the world, but what can I do? I don't know. Let me see if there are any questions, and maybe we'll stop the stream. We'll see. Are you familiar with Michael Sandel? No. Do you live alone? Yes. Most of the time. It is better to learn multiple foreign languages or learning more about the world. Well, learning more about the world is. I made a book about language, and you may not think that this is connected to TROM, but it's actually is very connected to TROM because language is a huge barrier today, and that's why I made, for example, all of the documentary in English. What if I made the documentary in the Romanian language? Who would watch it? So we should speak at least to have a common language. But the example in the book that I gave with language is that we couldn't even adopt a language worldwide. So how in the world can we adopt a social system? To be honest, I don't know. No, I'm not going to pretend that I know this. I don't know.
Man, we couldn't even adapt, like metric system for all the world,
Yeah.
or driving on the left side or on the right side of the road, and you want to have one common language.
It's fucking crazy. Let's see. Can you tell us about VideoNet and Music Wave projects? Well, yeah, as I said, VideoNet it sits there in the shadow, but I think it's an amazing project because you find so many documentaries and lectures there, and I add lots of them, and it's very difficult to find those documentaries. I'm telling you, it's extremely challenging to make them available for everyone for free. So yeah, I think more, at least I never asked money for VideoNet, for example. I always made VideoNet free and whatever. So yeah, even for VideoNet, if the people who visit VideoNet daily would donate like $3 a month, I will have all of the financial needs to run TROM project and VideoNet and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't. And Music Wave, yeah, it's another website that I made where you can listen music for free. I did it for myself. I am obsessed with doing stuff for free, if you cannot tell already. I never did stuff for money. Even when I repaired computers for my friends, I did it for free. I just don't like to ask for money. Sometimes I may create a website for money because I don't have money, but that's because people contact me and say, do you want to make this website because I pay you this amount of money? I wish I had the money so I could do it for free for them. It's very difficult.
It's a really good point. I just want to add some examples from my life, but I also kind of enjoy helping people, and I think every normal human being actually feels good if you can help somebody else. But then if you say you just do some small actions, like recently I was driving like this week back to Latvia on my car. And then I stopped at the petrol station, and then there was a guy with his wife, and his car was broken. And he asked if I could took his wife and drive her to home because she just got from hospital and she could like really walk and so on. I said, yeah, of course. So I took her to my car and drove to the very home and helped her to go to the stairs and bring her stuff. And she was giving me money, and I said, no, I'm not gonna take this money because I am helping you and I want to help you. If I would take money, that means I've give you a service, and I'm not giving you a service. It's not it's not the job. I'm not the carrier. I'm not the taxes, and I don't want it. And she was like really amazed by that. And I said, if you want to thank me, just help somebody else. Just we should help people. And I always have this, because I don't know, like in Latvia or let's say in Russia, if you help someone ask you for help, you help him, of course, and they kind of give you money as a thank you. But I always try to reject, because as soon as I received it, it's not like I'm helping people. it's basically a service, you know, and I don't want to do it. I mean, if you would tell me, oh no, you know, man, can you, you know, help me to move? I will pay you $20, and I would say, no, I don't care. I don't want, you know, to hard work for $20. I don't care. I would spend my time more productive. But then if he would say, the same guy, can you help me? I need your help, and I've said, yeah, of course, you know. So, and I think this is normal, and that's kind of you know, behavior we should have. And
Yeah, I think it's difficult to get this behavior in today's world because people are not used to this. But in a sense, I've seen this in people that they want to help. They are going to help you. Even those egocentric people and greedy, they have this. They will help you sometimes because it's even for rich people. Many rich people are going to donate to charities or get involved in Africa, saving kids, blah blah blah. Because even they, sometimes I've seen some documentaries. They feel like there is no purpose in their life. You know, everything is done for the money. They want to feel like they are doing something, and this is normal, but it's abnormal in our society. And the question is, how can we somehow grow this kind of behavior in people? And the only way to grow it is for them to have more free time and more free access to stuff. Else, you know, I won't be able to help you that much with my stuff, because even when people may ask me, you know, can you help me with the website or something like that, when I know I'm so broke, it's very difficult for me to say to refuse money. For example, if you are really broke and someone gives you money, even if you don't do it for money, because you know you need the money, so it's difficult. It's very challenging.
But then again, if you put this on a scale, I'm sure it's the same for you. If somebody sends you money, you kind of, or I don't know, you earned money. So let's say money comes to your bank account, you just, okay, yeah, that's money, cool. But you don't kind of feel, you don't feel anything. Actually, I never feel anything if I've got like any amount of money, you know, on my bank account. But if I help people and he really valued there, or even if he's not, I mean, I feel such a fulfillment, you know, of myself. I receive much more from helping somebody than from, you know, just money that somebody pays me for something.
Yeah, how can you buy this? You know, I was thinking like how much your mother is worth it, you know, or your girlfriend or something like that. How much can you put a price on such things? And some people look at such things and they say, oh, you are so philosophical, you are like meh, you know. But it's true, because I've seen so many people who, I have friends and people I know, they make a shitload of money, but they are not that happy. I mean, I might be a lot happier than they are, even if I'm broke, because I'm focusing on what I feel it's important. And I know, you know, when you do such projects that I've done, and I received many emails, you get emails from people, like crazy emails, like, wow, you changed my life with the stuff that you did. You know, I was depressed, and I don't know how to like take in such things, because they are so like powerful and so like, wow, did I really improve someone's life? I mean, that's the real value of stuff, not someone saying, okay, your book is worth it like $12.
Yeah, exactly. What do you feel about it? You don't give a shit. Okay, whatever, $12. Yeah, but then somebody tells you, yeah, you changed my life. I read your book and you saved my life. And wow, that's powerful. That's what fulfill you, and that's where we should change our values. Not, you know, the money. It's fucking mean nothing. It's just tool of limitation. You know,
it's so completely without a value in our world. This thing completely without a value. It doesn't matter. I mean, I helped maybe so many people. I made so many books, but I go to the dentist and the dentist says it costs you $600 or euros. I'm like, you know, no one cares. I'm not going to say, you know what, I made so many books and documentaries and yeah, sure, thank you, but no.
Try that. Maybe.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about such things. Yeah, no, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Let's see if there is any question. If not, I'm going to maybe close this live stream. And just like a last thing, if you want to help us, you can You can translate stuff and maybe help without donating money. But if you want to donate money, you can go to tromsite.com/donate, and any donation counts. And I don't expect many donations because of this live stream, because I don't think many people will see it anyways. But I had to take this off my chest and explain some stuff to you, how we work for TROM and stuff like that. And maybe we will do more live streams and we will get more people here from TROM. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Well, I mean, I didn't die so far with so many little money. I don't think I'm going to die in the sense of activism. I'm too motivated, so it'd be difficult to put me down and make me unable to do what I'm going to do. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm just this. I want to finish up with this, and this is about Dima and the other people. After I left the Venus project, and we split apart, and we were reaching many people, and it was great from my perspective. I felt like, I'm fucked because I'm not going to reach anyone who is going to be interested again in TROM after so many years, because I made TROM, I just left it there. I focused on PvP and that stuff. And I was a bit really depressed because I thought that that's it. The project is going to die. I'm going to not be able to do anything. But interestingly, now, financially, I'm really bad, but I came across people like Dima. I came across people like Sebastian. Now we're like 9 or 10 people who are very involved with TROM, and they are exactly what I was hoping to see flocking around this project. People who are doing stuff, and less talk, more work. They do stuff. They just do stuff, and they don't do stuff for me. They do stuff for the project and for themselves. And to me, that's fantastic, and I cannot wait to meet them in person. I never met anyone except Aaron in person, so I worked pretty much alone on such projects from my home. So I hope that this is going places, hopefully. We'll see. I'm motivated enough. I hope Dima keeps his motivation, and the same with other people. I hope that they are not forced to do something else, so they will have time for the project. So
yeah, sure. I also plan to make it one of my priorities to dedicate my life to the TROM, and also the Venus project. I'm also working for Venus project.
yes, he is point of contact, right, for the Venus project.
Contact for Latvia.
Yeah, I think such organizations should work closely together, and that's my aim with that documentary, like to in the end to try to bring them together in a sense. And maybe with my past experience with such projects, maybe I have the secret sauce. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, I think. Okay, I think we are going to end this live stream. And maybe if you watch this later on and you comment that you may like to see more live streams and discuss about all kinds of interesting topics, maybe we are going to make a new live stream, and we are going to make more videos, and we are going to upload on this channel. I don't know when, but Sebastian is working on one video, so we'll see about that. Okay, thank you, Dima.
Yeah, thank you too. That was cool.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
See ya.